Installing and configuring the Sage 100 connector for Creatio is very straightforward. Navigate to the System Designer, and from the Application Hub or from the Creatio Marketplace, you'll be able to install the Sage 100 connector for Creatio. In this example, we're going to install it from a file. Locate your file, select it, allow Creatio a moment to make a determination of if it's a valid file, and once it passes validation, you'll receive this prompt. From here, there's not really anything that you need to do. Simply click the Update button or the Install button. Now, all we have to do is wait for the installer to validate and install the application. Please keep in mind that this process has tested to take anywhere from 2 to 8 minutes, so just be patient. Once the application installs, you can click the Open Application Hub button to view the application. And as you can see on the screen, the Sage 100 connector for Creatio is now installed. Now, you are welcome to explore everything that is contained within the application via the listing itself, but what we've shared so far is all that's really required to get the installation completed successfully. And now that we've got the product installed, it's time to configure it. So from here, we're going to navigate back to our System Designer, and we're going to locate the System Settings menu option. From here, you'll need to find 4 settings, all of which need to be defined. All of these values that we're about to discuss will be provided by your Creatio partner. So don't be overly concerned if you don't have them. They should. From the System Settings list, filter it by Sage 100, and you'll see several results. By default, all of the sync dates will be set to pull history from Sage 100 going back to 1970. We'll talk more about the dates in a moment. For now, scroll down and locate the following 4 settings: Sage 100 int-URL, Sage 100 int-primary instance, Sage 100 int-username, and Sage 100 int-password. We'll start by configuring the URL. If you have the value, type it in and click Save. Next, we'll move to the primary instance setting. We'll type it in there as well and click Save. Next, we'll find the username setting and we'll provide the username value for that and click Save. Lastly, we'll find the password setting and we'll update that and click Save as well. From here, we're going to close the System Settings screen and navigate to the Web Services Integration Setup option in the System Designer. Presuming everything has been configured correctly, we can now test the connection to Sage 100 and the REST API to see if it can be accessed. If you saw the prompt on the screen a moment ago, it really isn't a concern. It's more of an informational message that lets you know that the web service you're attempting to access can't be modified. There isn't necessarily a need to modify the web services unless you have a highly customized Sage 100 system. In that case, your Creatio partner should work with you to identify what user-defined fields, or UDFs, should be configured on each Sage 100 object synchronized with Creatio. That said, let's scroll down and locate the getUsers method, click the Send a Test Request button, and hope to have a successful result. If that all happened on your end, then everything is configured correctly. Nothing else is really required on your part for the initial testing of the connectivity between Creatio and your Sage 100 system. Should you have more than one company inside of Sage 100 that you wish to configure sending data to Creatio, you can go into your Sage 100 workplace, navigate to your Sage 100 company option, and modify it there. If for whatever reason you don't see the Sage 100 workplace in your list, you can go into Workplace Setup, presuming you have the correct permissions, open the Sage 100 workplace, ensure that the correct users or permission roles have access to view the Sage 100 workplace. A simple validation and making sure that you add or remove the correct access is all that we need to do here. Once all those settings and permission settings have been confirmed, what we need to do is a hard refresh of our browser. And we can do this by holding the Control key and pressing the F5 key. This will clear out anything that might restrict our visibility to the Sage 100 workplace. Now that we can see and access the Sage 100 workplace, we can navigate to the Sage 100 Companies section. If you have multiple companies that you need to configure, you can do that here. All you need to provide for each record is the company code, the instance, or subdomain value related to your Sage 100 REST API location. And if you really want to provide it, the name of your Sage 100 company that you wish to configure. Essentially, the more information you can place in this setup screen for each company, the better it will be from a traceability standpoint long term. Again, if you have multiple companies to synchronize, simply repeat what we just did for each company you wish to configure. From here, you can either wait for the processes to run. These processes can be scheduled to run every 5 to 10 minutes after the initial synchronization has been done. For now, what we're going to do is manually trigger the process to run. To do that, we're going to go to System Designer, navigate to the process library, and from the process list, we're going to filter them down by Sage 100, and we're going to look for a business process called Sage 100 Integration Users Update Sage 100 Users. We'll click the Run button, and now it becomes a waiting exercise. But if you're impatient, you can always navigate to the next section, which is Sage 100 User, and you can see that it will have already processed the users from our configured company, along with their respective data. If we continue to navigate to other sections, we'll see the progress of the synchronization. It'll go from object to object, and eventually you'll arrive at an object like products as an example, and you'll be able to see the Sage 100 REST API uploading data in real time to the object. If we click through the other objects, we can also see that it's beginning to pull more and more information as the process is run. Eventually, it will synchronize all of the data for us, meaning that there's no data import or tedious migration or transformation required from Sage 100 into Creatio. As we explore what our synchronization efforts have done so far, we can look at products, salespeople, and so on to check the progress of the initial sync. If your lists aren't automatically populating as you see here on the screen, that simply means your Creatio instance might not have live data updates enabled. With a little bit of patience, the synchronization will be complete, and the remaining items within the Sage 100 connector for Creatio will be populated automatically with all of your Sage 100 data based off of the dates defined in the system settings. Should you not want all of the data synchronized from Sage 100 into Creatio, you can specify that within the system settings. Note that every single Sage 100 object that is synchronized has a corresponding sync date. That is by design. Effectively, this gives you full control over what information on an object-by-object basis that you wish to sync, and how far back you want to go for each object. As an example, there are some organizations out there that have millions of records inside of Sage 100. So you don't necessarily need all million records. You might just want invoice history for the current year, the previous year, and that's it. But you do want all of the other records from every other object. You have full control over what information gets pulled across from Sage 100 into Creatio by using these dates before the initial synchronization process gets triggered. Once the integration finishes running for all of the Sage 100 objects, and you can see invoices and invoice lines populated fully, the home screen will begin to display more meaningful information. The Sage 100 connector for Creatio isn't intended to provide an extensive set of analytics and reports out of the box. However, now that your Sage 100 data is inside of Creatio, you can begin using the extensive features of Creatio to leverage your Sage 100 data in very interactive and meaningful ways, including the native AI capabilities of Creatio. For example, other features are things like implementing the solicitation of electronic signatures for sales orders, quotes, or orders respectively. That can become as simple as a click of a button or sent automatically based off of either a time constraint or based off of where a quote or order is within the workflow stage. As another example, you can leverage Creatio to deploy an onboarding process for customers and vendors. All of that and more now becomes a possibility within Creatio. That's everything that goes into the initial configuration and installation of the Sage 100 connector for Creatio. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Thank you very much.